I just realized like I don't have the energy to deal with my hair even now. People telling me like, oh yeah, your natural hair is really in right now, like you should wear it loose. And it's like, oh yeah, that's cool that now society embraces my natural hair when I've struggled with it my whole life. But I just can't deal with it, you know? Like, are you gonna come here and style it for me? If you have a coarser hair texture, it takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more energy. I need to wash my hair and shave and moisturize and clip my nails, and like I can't do all of this at once. Like panicking and scrambling and like, oh no, I can't do it for the next week because I need to work on getting myself together like bit by bit. Hi everybody, and welcome back to an invisible illness awareness project, or should I say now, Project Uninvisible. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about hair and general hygiene and how that's affected with chronic illness. First of all, there are some chronic illnesses where the illness itself actually is how it affects your hair. But honestly, I don't even know anything about them specifically. I just know that they exist and that people with these illnesses tend to feel this societal pressure to always wear something on their head to keep it covered, or to try to wear wigs just because people keep commenting and telling them they should, and they won't just leave them alone about it. But in my case, this is something different. This is not something that affects my hair growth. It's just that having a severely limited amount of energy is also going to affect other areas of your life. I know there's some people with similar diagnoses to mine who have shaved their hair like really short. I think because they started reacting to their own hair, like their body was perceiving their hair as an allergen. I know people who had to cut their hair a lot shorter because even if they had like straight hair, it was just too much to deal with washing it when it was like twice as long. It just, when you have like extremely limited energy, something like the length of your hair can make a huge difference, you know. There's people who are so severe that they have to choose between brushing their teeth or brushing their hair on any given day. So of course, washing your hair goes far beyond that. It takes a lot more energy. So you can imagine that the length can also make a difference. In my case, I usually just kind of like pulled my hair back in a bun and I didn't really bother doing much with it. But then there was this point where I had my hair short and I wasn't able to pull it back. And it kind of like pushed me into having to like get it wet and style it every time before I went out. And that's something like obviously you don't really want to do when it's cold outside. And in my case, it was like I'm only going out to get food and that's it. Like I come back from the grocery store and I'm back in bed, so it's like kind of pointless. And then also if I'm showering before I go to the store and then I have to get back in bed and rest from the shower and often sleep because I'm so crashed, then there's that period where I'm back in bed sleeping where my hair's getting messed up. So it just didn't really make a lot of sense, and I started thinking about getting locks. If you've been following this channel, you can see that in like the first maybe 3 videos, my hair was still loose, and then after that it was starting a full set of locks, and you can like see them evolving and maturing. And then it got to the point about a year ago where I started to brush them out, and as you can see, that didn't really last. Like, I'm starting another set of locks because I just realized like I don't have the energy to deal with my hair even now, even after years of not working. And you know, I think there was a period in there where my energy was a bit better. Maybe I could have handled it at that point, but that's also like so much energy that's tied up with my hair that could be going to other things. And in that period, it was going to other things. So I, you know, it's not that it's not that I regret that I didn't brush it out at that point. I don't know, it's difficult because like I do get people telling me like, oh yeah, your natural hair is really in right now, like you should wear it loose. And it's like, oh yeah, that's cool that now society embraces my natural hair when I've struggled with it my whole life. But I just can't deal with it, you know? Like, are you gonna come here and style it for me? I guess you could say I have trichotillomania, and I'm just like constantly touching my hair. I would also say that that's that could be considered a stim, and it's just like a constant thing. Like, my hands are always in my hair, like always twisting or braiding it. And I thought that if I got locks, I would be able to leave it alone and it would have less breakage. But then actually I just started like pulling on the locks, twisting the locks together, braiding the locks together. And in the end, it turned into the same thing. There was a lot of breakage, and I just felt like it was like thinning out too much. And I get a lot of people who see me online and like through the camera, they can't see black features and, you know, making comments and stuff, like just, you know, made me kind of question my identity. And you know, I felt like I just need to like remind myself how my hair actually is, you know, like people trying to tell me that my hair is you know, because there are a lot of white people pretending that their hair is coarser than it actually is. You know, so it's like, I can understand why people are saying these things to me. And even though I know that it doesn't apply to me, like that is not, it's not what's going on here. It's still like kind of like I can't help second guessing myself. So it's like, you know, I needed to feel my natural hair and remind myself how much of a handful it is and how coarse it really is. And I mean, that's the thing is that honestly, if you have a coarser hair texture, and even if mine is kind of, mine is like definitely not the coarsest, but it is a lot coarser than what is considered the mainstream. It takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more energy, and you know, so it's even more to keep up with when you're not healthy. Honestly, with locks is like the most me I've felt. Like, I felt so comfortable and confident because I didn't have to kind of worry if people touch my hair that it's gonna be messed up, or if it's windy or raining or whatever. Like, it just gave me a level of freedom that I had never experienced before. That sort of like get up and go and not having to worry, which was really nice. And then kind of like related to that, I would say general hygiene is another thing. I'd say like the first phase when like around the period when I would like take a few months off of work and then try working again, and you know, like the first phase of like really being disabled, like I was in the habit of showering every day, and it never crossed my mind to do anything differently. So if there was nothing else that I accomplished in the day, I would get up and shower, go to the store to buy fresh food, and then get back in bed. And that was it. And I did feel kind of like it's a good thing because it gives me something to do. It gives me a little bit of activity and gives me a reason to go out. But at some point I realized, like, you know what, you don't actually have to shower every day. So then I would like space it out 1 or 2 days, which wasn't really an issue. But then I reached this point a couple years ago where it just became so draining that sometimes it would be like 4 days, which I felt was too much. To the point where like I started like I would wash, rinse, and then wash again to kind of like make up for the showers I had missed. And I still felt like I wasn't really clean, you know, as I feel like maybe in that time there's like some bacteria growing that one wash is not enough to get rid of or something. So I got to this point recently where I felt like I need to keep up with hygiene type stuff, but I've always been like really bad at just paying attention to when it needs to be done, especially if I'm like hyper focusing on something else. Even if I know it needs to be done, I try to keep putting it off. So I finally just sort of like I would put in the calendar when I did something, and then I would pay attention, when does it need to be done again, and then check how many days it had been, and then I put a reminder for that many days so that basically like exactly when it needs to be done, it's done, and things don't have the time to kind of spin out of control. You know, where it's like all of a sudden like I feel like I need to wash my hair and shave and moisturize and clip my nails, and like I can't do all of this at once. So that things are you know, spaced out, and if something comes up where there's a reason for me to need to look together, I'm not like panicking and scrambling and like, oh no, I can't do it for the next week because I need to work on getting myself together like bit by bit. I've only been doing this for like a few weeks, but I really like it so far. I'm not completely on top of it with the showering because that's the one that repeats the most, and sometimes it ends up being like 3 days instead of 2, but at least it hasn't gone beyond 3 to 4, which is where I feel like things get bad. And again, I know there are people who are more severe who are not able to bathe themselves at all, and sometimes weeks go by before they're able to get some help in to do it for them. You know, there's definitely levels much worse than what I'm dealing with. I'm missing out on a lot and I'm struggling a lot, but at least I have the energy to make these videos and edit them and upload them so that you guys can see me, you know, like I think that's already doing pretty good, because a lot of the time it's like, you know, I really don't have that energy. But there are so many people out there who never have that energy. So I also want to be clear when people see me that like they shouldn't think that this is as bad as it gets, you know, like there's definitely even more levels that you just don't see. But yeah, you guys are welcome to share what you do to optimize your hygiene in the comments. Like I know some people use shower stools. I tried at some point. I've also lately, just because I'm staying in a place where I have a bathtub, I often will just take a bath instead so that I can be laying down most of the time. Yeah, and I know, I guess like some people have those like inflatable tubs that you use to soak your locks that they'll use like for chronic illness to wash your hair. Like those are, I think that's pretty much like all the tricks that I can think of. Is I haven't gone too far down this path yet. But yeah, you're welcome to share any tips and ideas. If there's anything else you're interested in hearing about, let me know. Also, if you're interested in my hair journey, I made another little side channel to post my lock journey. If you've noticed, I've been absent from this channel for a while. I've been way more absent from that channel, but I do have stuff filmed for that I plan to hopefully post eventually. So yeah, y'all can check that out too if you're interested. It's called Mulatta Lux. For now, I'm trying to post once every 2 weeks so that on the opposite week I can post on the other channel that I'm trying to keep running parallel, which is called Creole Polyglot. And we'll see how long this lasts, because this is already like maximum capacity right now. Yeah, fingers crossed, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.